Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video is going to be a discussion on what octane I should run in my snowblower or small equipment, power equipment around the property. Now, a lot of people are always questioning what octane is better for their small engines, whether it be the snowblower or, lawnmower, tractor, and so on. Even ATVs and side-by-sides, but that's going to be a separate video. I'm going to tailor this one more to carbureted engines. Now, your snowblower and your power equipment usually have a small carburetor and are carburized. That means it's not going to need certain detergents and stuff that are more present in 93 octane. The real question is, what compression ratio is your equipment, meaning the engine? Now, you guys might hear things like 7 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 1, 10, 11, 12 to 1, okay? There's all sorts of different compression ratios, and most likely small equipment and your snowblower are low compression ratios, and it does not need 93. You can run just fine on 87 with a low compression ratio engine. That's the main deciding factor when it comes to deciding what octane that you need. Now, your snowblower and your lawnmower and small equipment is not supercharged, turbocharged, force induction in any way, so you don't need 93 or 91. Most likely you will be fine running 87 octane, even though you might have some ethanol mixed in there. It should be fine. You should look in your owner's manual, which is the second tip, is look in your owner's manual for that particular machine. Most likely it's going to say right in there what's the minimum octane. And that octane right there, if it's 87, is just fine to run it for the whole life of the machine. Now, the engine is tuned on that 87, so it's jetted. The carburetor is jetted for that particular octane of fuel. So when you step into higher octane fuels, the actual jets and everything else need to coincide to make full use of that higher octane. But the manufacturer of your equipment says it right in the manual, the owner's manual, what's the minimum octane you should be running. It's totally fine to run that octane. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they tell you to run. That's what you're going to use. So that moves on to the next topic, which is octane is only needed for knock prevention. To make this short, I don't want to get into lengthy discussion of what is knock or detonation or pre-ignition. It basically is the engine, if the engine knocks, it's actually combusting before the piston is reaching top dead center for the optimal combustion to happen. So you don't want it happening before on most engines. Race engines, they can advance the timing to happen before, but you have to be very careful. You need very high octane for that. Small equipment, we're not talking about that. So you're in your low compression ratios, and that is totally fine with that 87 or 89. Look in your owner's manual. That's the best bet. But that's the optimum factor when it comes to deciding what octane is. How much knock resistance do you need on your particular motor? And that's all going to be in your owner's manual. Very important. So moving along, I wanted to talk about why I use 93 on all my small equipment. Now, the only reason I do that is because it's convenient. I want to have one fuel or octane for everything. I can put it in my car, my Corvette, and I can put it in anything I own and be safe and know that it's okay. Yes, it's kind of overkill, but it's nice having one fuel and not having to worry about which one's which. So I do it basically as a convenience. And also, another thing to talk about is 93, especially like, say, Shell V-Power Nitro gas fuel, is actually very consistent in a higher quality fuel, and there's a lot of technology that goes into that fuel. Not only, does it have better additives, it's very consistent with its octane rating, and it's just a much purer form of a fuel. Now, whether that's needed, it's all debatable. People will say, hey, I don't need that. But you know what? Like I said, I use 93 in my power equipment, whether it's snowblower, ATV, Corvette. That's my kind of baseline octane. That way it's just convenient for me and I have one fuel to work with. Some people might find it fine having multiple octanes in their shed or garage. Go for it. But it's just extra stuff to think about, and I just want to have one fuel. And if one of my friends needs fuel for his motorcycle, I can have 93 on hand and ready to go. So it's mostly a convenience thing, but very important to know what is the compression ratio of your engine. That's going to be the deciding factor when it comes to octane. But when it comes to snowblowers, look in the manual. Most likely it's going to say 87 as a minimum octane rating for your machine. So, I mean, that's going to be it, guys. I think I covered the basics when it comes to this. Let me know your kind of logic and your reasoning why you use what you use. Depends on what you have in your garage and in your shed. Like I said, convenience is a major thing. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please go do so. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.